Alright, let's get it. Let's go live. Let's pull the comments up. 1 second. Alright, there we go. We got comments pulled up. What is up, everybody? Let's see here. Alright. Turn that down a little bit. Alright, I believe we are good to go. Okay. Alright, there we go. What is going on, everybody? Wonder Bro here with Vacay Fear. How's everybody doing today? How's everybody doing this lovely Saturday evening? It's about 5 p.m. here. Wonderlust, hey bro, Wonderlust is first to chat. What's up? How you doing? How you doing? Come one, come all. Today's topic, guys, we're going to be talking about the reason anxiety retraining feels so difficult. What's up? Early for once. You are on time, my man. What's up? Hello. How are you doing? Welcome, everybody. We're going to give it a few good minutes before we get started, as always. Let some people get in here. I'm going to go ahead and drop that Discord link. There we go. Speaking of Discord, let's notify them one more time that we are live. Send that notification out there. There we go. There we go. How's everybody doing this Saturday? Looking forward to this great channel. Hey man, I appreciate it. Thank you for watching. Thank you for supporting. Thank you for watching. Thank you for supporting. It is going to be a good one, guys. It's going to be a good one. Alright. We got the lo-fi going today. You're right, PJ. You are right, dude. That's why we, that's why we always say it's not necessarily easy. It's not necessarily easy, but we're going to talk about that today. Alright, let's see here. Alright guys, we're about 4 minutes into it. Let's go ahead and get started, shall we? Alright, let's see. Alright. Hello everyone, how's everyone doing? We're getting on with the main point of today's stream, which is the reason anxiety retraining feels so difficult, right? So a lot of you are regulars, a lot of you have been here for quite some time, you're not exactly new to this whole thing, so for me to tell you it's not exactly easy, right, seems like pretty obvious. You're probably thinking, yeah, I get it. But what we're going to talk about, what we're really going to get into today is why that is. Why that is. We're really going to talk about why that is, so that next time you find yourself having an anxious day where you know you're supposed to just, leave your thoughts alone, let them do what they want to do, leave your feelings alone, let them do what they want to do, and stop fighting with any of it. Start rewiring and retraining that brain, proving to your brain by not fighting with any of it and just living your life that this protection, because that is what anxiety essentially is, this protection is not needed, okay? We're going to talk about why on those days, when you're having those anxious days and you know you need to put in the work, right? We're going to talk about why it can feel so difficult, because I know that's a big one for a lot of people, and it was a big one for me, right? Like, you would have a few good days. It's really, really easy sometimes to use acceptance and not fight with your thoughts and feelings when you're in your right state of mind, when that anxiety is not popping off and making you so irrational. It's really easy to use acceptance on some days, but then you have those days where it's not so easy. And I want people to know that they're not alone on that. I want people to know that this is not something to feel guilty about. This is not something to say, well, I must be doing something wrong because my anxiety is through the roof today. We've talked about how anxiety only learns when anxiety is turned on. So I want people to understand that this is not uncommon to have these days where it seems very difficult. This is not uncommon to have those days where you almost want to second guess yourself and say, well, am I doing something wrong? Because the anxiety is just so persistent today. I want to ease people's mind, okay? So that is what we're talking about today, why it feels so difficult on some days. So here's the thing. With acceptance and rewiring and retraining the brain and proving to the brain that you're not in any real danger by not fighting with these thoughts and feelings and instead just living life, okay? You are essentially, at the end of the day, you are essentially going against your survival mechanism, right? Your fight or flight, your anxiety. This thing is there to protect you. This thing has always been there to protect you. I know sometimes it doesn't feel that way, but that is the purpose behind anxiety. It's there to protect you. It's there to save your life. So on those days where it's very persistent in trying to protect you and save your life, when you use acceptance and you stop fighting the thoughts and feelings and instead you just do things that you don't necessarily feel like doing, such as living your life, you are going against this survival mechanism. You are going against this part of your brain that is trying everything in its power to save your life, right? It's a little out of whack, granted, but this part of your brain is there to try to save your life. It is there to try to protect you. And when you use acceptance and when you stop fighting with these thoughts and feelings and instead just live your life, you are going against this evolution. You are going against this survival mechanism. And that's not always the easiest thing in the world to do, right? Because your body and your mind has many different ways that it can try to persuade you to fight or flee or do something in order to protect yourself. And when I say something, I mean our normal compulsions, our safety-seeking behaviors, such as arguing with the thoughts or fighting with the thoughts or fighting with the feelings, or whatever it is we try to do to try to get the anxiety to go away. The only problem with that is, as you all know, when you try to get the thoughts to go away and you try to get the feelings to go away, you are fighting. And you are telling the brain by fighting that there is a problem. But the main point of today's stream is it's not easy because you are going against your own brain. You are going against your own survival mechanism, right? And this thing is strong. This thing can be quite powerful at times because, after all, it has to be in order to possibly save your life. It is a lot out of whack. Okay, there's really no other better way to put that. It's extremely out of whack for sensitized people, but at the same time, it's still trying to do what it's always tried to do, which is save your life, right? It doesn't know any better. So, to use acceptance and to say, well, instead of fighting with my thoughts today and instead of fighting with my feelings today and laying in bed all day, I'm going to get up and I'm going to take my shower. I'm going to brush my teeth. I'm going to listen to my favorite song. I'm going to have a conversation with my friend about the Super Bowl coming up. Even though I don't feel like doing these things, I'm going to sit down and have a meal, even though my body is screaming at me to fight or flee, even though my mind is trying to throw all these negative protective thoughts my way, even though my body and my mind seem to be working against me and trying to do everything in their power, which is quite strong, as I said, to try and protect me, I'm going to do the opposite. And to make that choice means to rewire the brain. It ultimately means to heal. It ultimately means to teach the brain. However, again, the main point of the stream is that's not always easy. And I get that. I've been there. I've had really good weeks, during my recovery, only to wake up and have a day where the anxiety is quite strong, and then maybe I slip up and I use a coping method. I get on Google, even though I know I shouldn't. I've had those moments, and I understand how that feels. And, that's really what I'm trying to drive home to you today is when you undergo acceptance and you start to really buckle down and you dedicate to retraining your brain, you are going to be tested. There is going to be days where maybe you're caught off guard. There is going to be days where it just seems to not want to let up. There is going to be days where it's just really, really strong in trying to persuade you that there is a problem that you need to take action, right? So, I want to bring this to your attention now. Even though most of you are probably already aware of this, I want to bring this to your attention now. That way, when you have those days where you're not quite feeling yourself, when you have those days where it's very persistent, you can simply sit back and remind yourself, number one, this is when my brain is learning the most, so you can be happy about that. You can find a little bit of happiness in that statement because now you can take advantage of this, right? You go from victim to victor. And number two, this is to be expected. After all, I am going against my survival mechanism. I am going against this evolution. I am retraining my entire brain. So of course I'm going to have days like this. And just knowing that and being aware of that can help take the edge off. Just knowing that and being aware of that, and like I said, most importantly, reminding yourself that the brain learns the most while anxiety is turned on, okay, is something else that you can take pride in. It's something else that you can use to your advantage to go from victim to victor. So, it's not necessarily easy, and I've never said it was easy. I say it's simple. It's simple, when we talk about acceptance. Don't fight your thoughts and feelings. Just get on with your day. Show your brain that there's no real danger. All of this stuff is very simple when you put it like that, but I've never said it was easy. So, my main point of today's stream is do not feel bad when you have those days. Do not feel guilty when you have those days. Just take advantage of those days. That's the best way to approach these shitty days, is to take advantage of them rather than think to yourself, oh, here we go, another shitty day, or here we go, I must be doing something wrong, or here we go, when will this ever let up? Instead of letting your mind, okay, pull you into that sort of thinking, to those sorts of thoughts, let those thoughts go and just remind yourself in the back of your head and deep in your heart that the brain learns the most while anxiety is turned on. The brain learns while anxiety is turned on. And instead of allowing your mind to pull you into that victim mindset, which isn't going to help you at all, just simply remind yourself, today I can put in work. And make it into a game, if you will. Make it into a game. Nobody said that retraining and rewiring the brain had to be this huge, big negative ordeal, almost like going to the gym and trying to get that six-pack, right? Make it into a fun, playful game. I know it's not exactly the funnest thing in the world. I get it. But let's try to make it into a game instead of this big mountain that we got to climb over. So you could say something to yourself like, you know what, my mind's going crazy today. It's sending all these thoughts my way. My body's reacting to all these thoughts. I'm not me today. I'm sensitized today. I'm not the rational me today. But you know what? I'm going to make it into a game, and I'm going to take advantage of this day, and I'm going to do as many positive things today as I can, while my thoughts scream at me and while my body does whatever it wants to do, right? So again, I know it's not the funnest thing in the world, and the point of today's stream is to let you know that I know that, and to let you know that I know it's not always easy. But if we can shift from that victim mindset to more of a, hey, I'm going to take advantage of this. I'm going to take that leap of faith. I know what I know, and I'm going to take advantage of this today. And we're going to turn it into a little bit of game, and we're going to see how many positive things we can do today while the mind says whatever the mind wants to say, and while the body does whatever the body wants to do. I'm going to prove to my brain that there's no real danger today. So you go from victim, all right, to warrior. So again, to kind of just wrap the point of this stream up, it's not the easiest thing in the world because you are trying to retrain your brain. It's not the easiest thing in the world because you are going against your survival mechanism. It's not the easiest thing in the world because you have programmed your brain to be a certain way. Right? So although it's not the easiest thing in the world, okay, understand and accept that it's not the easiest thing in the world, and use those bad days to your advantage. Use those bad days to your advantage. Use those bad days to your advantage, right? There's two ways that you can choose to look at these bad days. You can look at them as the worst thing in the world, as something that you only wish was not happening, or you can look at it for what it is, A day where I can put in some serious, serious work and make some serious, serious progress on retraining my brain. Okay, so if you start to adopt that mindset instead of the victim mindset, you will go much further than you are right now. You will go much further than you are right now. You can use these bad days as motivation, or you can use these bad days as a chance to say, you know what, I know it's not always easy, but I know my brain is learning. I know what I know. I've watched plenty of streams. I've done my research. I've watched plenty of videos. There's no need to reinforce any of that. I already know what I know, and it's time to put in the work, and I'm going to take advantage of this not so great day. And who knows, by the end of it, it might turn out to be a fantastic day. Right? By the end of it, it might turn out to be a fantastic day. But anyway, guys, the main point of the stream is it's not always easy. You're going against your survival mechanism. You're trying to retrain your brain. Of course, that's not a easy feat, right? So, motivation, go from victim mindset to retraining the brain, go from victim mindset to understanding that you can take advantage of these bad days, right? And that was the main point of today's stream. All right, everybody, I hope somebody takes something from it. We're going to head on in to the, not the Twitch stream, what was that? Wrong screen. We're going to head on into the post stream. Hang out with chat a bit, see what everybody in chat's up to. What's up, Cade? What's up, Samantha? What's up, Visuals? Come one, come all. Come one, come all. Oh, okay. We're gonna switch back to the main screen here to read this tip off. We just got $100 tip. $100 tip from Darcy. $100 tip. Holy crap. Okay, that's massive. Thank you so much. I don't even know what to say to that. $100 tip from Darcy. The tip note says, thanks, Wonder Bro. Hey, thank you. Can we show this person some love in the chat, please? Can we show some love, all right, in the chat? Can we blow the chat up with some emojis? Thank you so much for that. I truly, 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 truly appreciate that. Wow, that is insane. Thank you for that. I had to switch back to the main screen for that one. So thank you so much. Let's show them some love in the chat. That's insane. Thank you, thank you. Hey, what's up, Dan? How you doing, buddy? It's good to see you. Let's see. Make sure I didn't miss any comments here. What's up, Amy? Yeah, that is crazy. That is a crazy tip. If we could show them some love in the chat, please. Show them some love in the chat, please. That is insane. Thank you so much for that. Do you have any advice on how to stop dwelling on the past? I had about 6 months of anxiety and intrusive thoughts back in 2015, and I feel like every day I worry it'll happen again that badly. So that's very common. First off, okay, understand that. That is very common. A lot of people who have been through the sensitized stage and then came out of it, okay, always worry about going back into it. That seems to be a very common reoccurring theme for a lot of people. However, I always try to ease people's minds by reminding them, okay, just because you became sensitized once does not mean you have to go back there, especially now that you know the advice, right? It would be a bit different if we had someone who didn't know about acceptance and they went through this bout of sensitization. Finally, even without knowing acceptance, and this does happen, even without knowing about, acceptance or ever having read a Dr. Claire Weekes book, they tend to just give up this struggle and they come out of this bout of sensitization by the skin of their teeth, right? That does happen. But with you being here on the stream tells me one thing. It tells me that you know, okay, not to fight with your thoughts and feelings, not to aggravate the nervous system. You know how to rewire your brain. So the only way that you would ever go back to that, to how bad it once was, and I'm not saying you won't have little brushes here and there, especially early on in your recovery, but the only way that you'll ever go back to how bad it once was is if you make the choice to just throw it all out the window and pick up all your bad habits again, and you do this for a very, very, very long time. And I don't think you're going to do that to yourself, because whether you know it or not, you've got this advice in the back of your head at all times as far as your anxiety is concerned. So there might be still somewhat of a fight in you, but it's not going to be to the point that it was once was. Therefore, you're not going to break down to the point that you once did, right? So I always try to remind people of that to kind of ease their mind. Hi, Wonderbro. Thank you. Today I felt helpless. Your videos helped me. What's up, Edward? So take advantage of today, man. I know it's not easy. I know it's not fun. I don't wish it on anybody, right? Nobody wishes it on anybody. But here's the thing, right? So we've got the victim mindset, which I was a victim of the victim mindset for a very, very long time. But I started to kind of view my rough days as a chance rather than as a victim. I started to view my rough days as a chance to really put in that work, to really do some positivity, to really stop fighting my thoughts and feelings, practice acceptance, and ultimately rewire my brain by showing it with the way that I live that there is no real danger. So it's there's always that choice that you get to make, and you've always got that free will to make that choice, right? So we can either go into these days with that victim mindset, which I did many, many times. I'm not trying to throw anybody body under the bus. I did many, many times, and that's why I'm making this stream now. Or we can go into it with a mindset of this is a chance. No, it's not fun. No, I don't feel great, but this is a chance, right? And that does make it a lot easier. It does make it a lot easier when you adopt that mindset. Again, thank you so much, Darcy, for the $100 tip. I feel like I haven't thanked you enough. I know I'm kind of beating it in the ground over here, but seriously, thank you so much. That is a huge tip for one single person to make on their lonesome. So thank you so much for that. Seriously, thank you, thank you. Thanks for live streaming, Wonder Bro. No problem, Dan. Thanks for being here. I do remember reading that in one of her books, Joseph, about how it can be harder for housewives to come out of sensitization. I think what she meant by that was there's not much, I guess, they can do. So it's a little bit more difficult for them because they're not, they've got too much time on your hands. There we go. I'm struggling for a way to put that, but they've got too much time on their hands. But regardless, even though I get obviously why she would say that, but regardless, you can still retrain a brain, right? So the reason she said that is because there's not much for them to do. They got a lot of time on their hands. But then again, especially this day and age, we've all got a lot of time on our hands, most of us. But we can find ways to fill that time. We can still accept our thoughts and feelings and not fight with our thoughts and feelings, regardless of what we do or do not have to do, right? So keep in mind, she said it was harder, but she never said it was impossible, right? Would I say it's important to engage in physically or mentally? I'm not even going to try to pronounce that word. Activities. I suck at that word. I'm going to try it. Strenuous. Okay, there we go. I think I got it. Uh, I suck at pronouncing some words. Would I say it's important? Well, when we talk about positive behaviors, right? When we talk about positive behaviors and we talk about just living your life, I always make it a point to say little or big ways. And the reason I always attach the words little or big ways is because I don't want someone who, like you said in your example, who is stuck at home to think, "Oh, well, I can't do all these great big things." No, that's why I make it a point to say we're not asking you to do great big things if you can't do great big things. If you can't do great big things, you can still retrain your brain. You can still stop fighting with your thoughts and feelings. You can still practice acceptance. You can still use positive behaviors, right? So I get where you're coming from, right? Should we try to pack our day full of activities, even if we're kind of stuck at home? If there's things for you to get into, such as little things, even cleaning or watching your favorite TV show or listening to your favorite song, and that's why I love using little examples because they're much more relatable. If there's things for you to get into, sure, get into them. It might help you not fight your thoughts and feelings. It might help you retrain your brain, and it will show your brain that instead of using coping methods or safety seeking behaviors, that you're instead just living your life. So there's many reasons why, if you've got things that you can do, then do those things, right? But at the same time, if there's not much for you to do, I don't want anyone else on the same, at the same time to get into a great big panic about how there's not much for them to do, right? So either way you look at it, whether you can do as much as possible in a day, right, to help you not fight your thoughts and feelings, to help retrain your brain with positive behaviors, then do that. But if there's not much for you to do because you are stuck at home or whatever, then you can do what you can, but you can also still practice not fighting your thoughts and feelings in the meantime, right? So either way. I know that response was a bit all over the place, but I hope that helped. What's going on, Wonder Bro? Not a whole lot, dude. How you doing, man? I've started struggling again. I have got 7 weeks left of my pregnancy as well. Will I get back there? You absolutely will get back there. So what seems like's happened is I was doing well a month after my HA, and I just went on with life pretending it didn't happen. So you was doing well. You went on with life. You were using positive behaviors, right? You were using positive behaviors. You weren't fighting with your thoughts and feelings. You were rewiring and retraining your brain. And you said it went well for you, but now you're having little brushes of anxiety again. Okay, first and foremost, this is completely normal. This is completely normal. Like Kay just said in the chat, time plus consistency plus dedication plus patience, right? Because unfortunately, when it comes to rewiring and retraining a brain, the brain likes to test you. You're going to have moments where you thought you were anxiety and free, and here it comes again. You're going to have a bad week or whatever. But that's really the main point of today's stream, is to take advantage of that and to not, withdraw from that, and instead realize that, hey, sometimes the brain is going to test me before I make my full recovery. Sometimes the brain wants to be sure. Sometimes I still have more pathways to overwrite, right? And instead of adopting the victim mindset, the main point of today's stream was understand that we know it's not easy, but to adopt these moments as a chance to continue your retraining. You're not back at square one because you have brushes of anxiety again. This simply means that you have a brain that continues to need to be retrained, that you have more retraining to do, right? You have more retraining to do. So so instead of withdrawing from these days and you're like, crap, I was doing so well and now I'm not doing so well, instead of letting your mind pull you in that direction, just understand that anxiety learns the most while anxiety is turned on. So take these days, take these weeks as a chance to continue retraining, because it wouldn't be happening if there wasn't more retraining that needed done. It wouldn't be happening if there wasn't more pathways that needed rewritten in your brain. So the fact that it's happening tells me one of two things. Either you adopted bad habits again, which I don't see many people doing that, especially now that you know the advice. So what more than likely has happened is you still have a brain that needs to continue to be retrained, and that's fine. Take advantage of that. Take advantage of that, right? Definitely does happen, Gordon. So I see a lot of people in chat today who are saying, I was feeling I was feeling good, I was feeling great, and I've got little brushes of anxiety here and there. How do I go about handling that? So I hope I was able to answer everybody's question with my last response. Take this as a learning opportunity, take this as a chance to continue retraining your brain. Um, I'm glad everyone is making so much progress. But understand, one thing: if you have brushes of anxiety after you've made some progress, these are chances. These are chances to continue retraining your brain. Do not let your mind pull you into the victim mindset when these chances come. Instead, just realize that they are chances. Chances to continue to drive home your recovery, right? Chances to continue to drive home your recovery. I think I posted it before on the Facebook page. There's like this little quote. It's like a little picture, and it says recovery, and it says expectations, and then it's got a line that just goes from, you know, complete zero all the way up to 100, but it's a straight line. And then under reality, the word reality, it shows a line that's just all over the place. That's just all over the place because that's a lot like, that's a lot like recovery. That's a realistic recovery. A realistic recovery, when we're dealing with a brain that needs to be rewired and retrained, normally doesn't go from 0 to 100 in a straight line. That just doesn't happen. For a lot of people, it is kind of all over the place. One day you're this way, one day, but you're making progress. Okay? You are making progress. So you need to be proud of that progress, right? You need to be proud of that progress. You need to see how far you've come. And then you need to take these days as an opportunity. You need to take these days as a chance. You need to take these days as an opportunity. You need to take these days as a chance. So, like I said, there's two ways you can look at that. For the longest time during my recovery, at the start, when I had these bad days, I would always go the victim route. I made that mistake many, many times. Like, you know what? This is so unfair. I've been doing so good, man. I've been putting in the work. Why do you have to be here today? I'm supposed to be feeling good today. And, that doesn't help anything. It doesn't help anything. So eventually I just started to look at it as a chance. Like, I wake up, oh man, these thoughts are triggering me. These thoughts shouldn't be triggering me. They're ridiculous. I know they're ridiculous. They didn't trigger me yesterday. What's going on today? But you know what? Instead of going the victim route, which I've done so often, gets me nowhere, I'm going to look at this as a chance. I'm going to look at this as an opportunity. Today, out of all days, I do not feel like getting up and cleaning my house or taking my dog outside or whatever it is I do, right? I do not feel like doing any of this today. But you know what? This is a chance. This is a great chance. It's like a workout. This is a great chance to continue retraining my brain, and I will soon reap the benefits of that, right? So that's how I started going at it. And let me tell you, the difference is astounding when you go from the victim mindset to the this is a chance mindset, right? Well, your heart can only beat so fast, PJ, right? Heart is the strongest muscle in your body. You don't have to worry about it. Of course, I'm assuming everybody here has already been examined by a doctor, but with that being said, the heart is the strongest muscle in the body. Exactly. You're surrounded with people who understand exactly how you feel. Beautiful place to be. So we've kind of made it a habit to do this, so we're going to do it again today. Let me find here. I know you're here somewhere. And you guys know, if you've been here for a while, we always put it many different ways. Some days we talk about positive behaviors, just living as if you feel, fine because you're showing your brain how you want to feel, right? And then other days we call it not fighting with your thoughts and feelings. It's all the same thing at the end of the day, but we're going to read some quotes here. Let's see. All right. If I can find it. If I can find what I'm looking for. One moment. All right, so here's a good one. Here's a good one. So, none of your old reactions. This is how it starts. So, this time you sat, you watched, you did nothing. The old thoughts teased again. They fought back more. How dare you? You watched, you did nothing again. You watched, you did nothing again. You watched, you did nothing again. And your brain, your actual physical, not to be joked about brain, did any of this stuff have a real effect on your brain? What will the brain scan show? The misfiring has stopped. So I love those quotes right there. So what it's getting at there is the same thing that we've always gotten at, which is when these thoughts and feelings come, right? When these thoughts and feelings come, you sat and do nothing. You just get on with your day, right? You sit and do nothing, or, when they say sit and do nothing, they simply mean not literally sit and do nothing, but just get on with whatever it is you were doing, right? Um, and what happens? What do the brain scans show? The brain scan shows that the misfiring has stopped. So, same thing that we've always talked about here on the channel. You are proving to your brain by not reacting to these thoughts and these feelings and just getting on with your day. Sometimes we call that positive behaviors. You can call it whatever you want to call it. That you are not in any real danger. And what does the brain scan show? The brain scans show that the misfiring has stopped. So, the point of this stream was that's not easy to do because you're going against your survival mechanism that's telling you and begging you to fight or flee. So going against that is not the easiest thing in the world to do. But what happens when you do that? What happens when you do that? Let's read that again. What did you do? None of your old reactions. This time you sat, you watched, the old thoughts teased again, they fought back more. How dare you? You watched, you did nothing. You watched, you did nothing. You watched, you did nothing. And your brain, your actual physical, not to be joked about brain, did any of this stuff have a real effect on your brain? What will the brain scan show? The brain scans show that the misfiring has stopped. So again, you can call it not adding second fear, you can call it positive behaviors, you can call it not fighting with your thoughts and feelings, you can call it retraining or rewiring your brain, you can call it acceptance, you can call it the two main keys, you can call it whatever you want to call it, whatever you prefer, whatever you like the most. But at the end of the day, this is how it goes. Right? You don't react to the thoughts and feelings. You get on with your day. Again, you can call it whatever you want to call it. But what happens? What happens when we're talking about your actual physical brain? What happens over time? Okay, the misfiring stops. Okay, so let's read this other thing I got here. I love saving this stuff for you guys. So, um, all right. Where's it at? I had planned to read this. Okay, here we go. We literally retrain the brain to no longer view the triggering situations as dangerous, right? So let's read that again. We literally retrain the brain to no longer view the triggering situations as dangerous. What is a triggering situation? A triggering situation, and I've got something that explains that really, really well. Where's it at? Where's it at? Okay. Let's get it pulled up. I don't really have these in any specific order, so it takes me a second. So a triggering situation, okay, can even be an imagination. It can be an imagination. It can be a negative thought. It can be an intrusive thought. It can be a person, place, or thing, right? Anything can technically be considered a triggering situation. So, again, we literally retrain the brain to no longer view the triggering situation as dangerous. And that's what happens when it says the misfiring has stopped, because you no longer used any of your old reactions. Now, any of your old reactions can be anything like trying to suppress your thoughts or fight your thoughts, or any sort of safety seeking behavior like staying in bed all day, yada yada, the list goes on and on. So if you take somebody with anxiety whose brain is lighting up, okay, and you treat them with acceptance, the results are evident on the scan that the affected brain areas are no longer lighting up. So we can go on and on. There's a million different ways, and we have put it a million different ways. There's so many different terms, chat. Acceptance, floating, not adding second fear, not fighting with your thoughts and feelings, positive behaviors. We could go on and on and on for days. But at the end of the day, it comes down to this one thing right here. This one thing right here. We literally retrain the brain to no longer view the triggering situations as dangerous. Okay? And the only way to do that, the only way the brain learns, is by watching how you react, or better put, how you don't react to these thoughts and these feelings. And, like I said, we can call that a million different things, but at the end of the day, this is what it comes down to. So the main point of today's stream is that I know that's not easy. The main point of today's stream is that I know that takes work. The main point of today's stream is that I know your body and mind will beg you to get involved and to fight these thoughts and feelings and to use your safety-seeking behaviors. And to react in whatever way it is that you react to these thoughts and feelings. I know that's not easy. I know that's not easy. So, the main point of today's stream is I get it. I know it's not the funnest thing in the world. I know it's not easy, but it comes down to retraining to your brain to realize that you are not in any real happening now danger, right? And that's why that's why on that article that I love to share with you guys, the Nothing Works Weebly, that's why it goes on, and in a certain part in that article it says when you do this long enough you'll be laughing at the things that used to trigger you. How is that possible? How can you go from being so afraid and so like just deathly scared of things that used to trigger you to laughing at them? Well, how that happens is because you've retrained the brain, you've rewired the brain to not light up and to not misfire, right? And when that happens, you literally will be laughing at the things that it used to misfire over. So some people commonly call that magic. I've seen that a lot here on the channel. It's like magic. The things that used to bother me no longer do. It's not magic. I promise you, it's not magic. It's that you have rewired your brain. And I know you can't really glimpse that right now, but you keep living by this and you see what happens. You live by the motto, my brain is watching, right? And if I want to rewire my brain, it's up to me whether I react to these thoughts and feelings or just carry on with my day, right? It's the damn nerves fried like a fish. Yep. That's usually the case. Of course, I'm not a doctor, so, everybody has to go to the doc and get cleared, but that is usually the case. That most of the time turns out to be the case. The nerves are fried. Hey, thanks for that, T. Yeah, guys, it really does help to like the stream. I don't want to be that guy, but we are so close to 10K, and the more likes the streams and videos gets, it really does affect the algorithm. So, if you would like to take a moment to toss that thumbs up, it would mean a ton to me. I would really, really appreciate it. I know it feels like a leap of faith to let your thoughts say what they want to say and your feelings do what they want to do without reacting. I know that takes time. I know that takes practice. And I know, like I said, it feels like a leap of faith at times. But to say whatever to your thoughts and just let them say whatever they want and let your feelings do whatever they want without reacting to it, not the easiest thing in the world to do. However, this is how you get the brain to stop misfiring, right? This is how you get that pesky brain to stop misfiring over things that are not actually dangerous. And I know that feels like a leap of faith. I know it feels like that. And I know it's, again, I'm really driving this point home. I know that's not the easiest thing in the world to do. I feel for you. I've been there. It works. I know firsthand. Yeah, I mean, we do have a good amount of people here. A good amount of people here who have recovered. I've been putting together a list of positive recovery comments, and I want to do a whole stream on those one day, if I can remember to do so. But yeah, we've had a good amount of people here recover, and it's awesome. It's always awesome to see you guys return to the chat and spread the hope and spread the love and spread the motivation with everyone else who's not quite there yet. That way, they know they're not doing this for nothing. Really means a lot to me when I see people who don't actually need to be here, but they're still here because they want to spread motivation to other people. It's very cool to see. It's very cool to see. It just shows you, how compassionate you guys are. I love to see it. I know it's not easy when you're in those moments, man. When you're in those moments, the mind is screaming at you, the body's screaming at you, they're going back and forth, and your only objective is to not react and just get on with your day, right? That sounds like an easy thing to do, but I know, guys, I know that's not the easiest thing in the world to do. I get it, and that was the point of today's stream. You're going against your survival mechanism. I know that's not the easiest thing in the world to do. It's simple when I say let your thoughts scream at you, let your body scream at you, but don't react. Just get on with your day so that you can rewire your brain and stop this misfiring and teach your brain that you're not in danger. Like, that's simple. Me saying that is simple, but is it easy? I know it's not easy. And that's why I'm here still. That's why I didn't just make one video and say, okay, that's enough. You know? I get it. I get it. Oh, I got the hiccups. I got the hiccups. Basically, it comes down to this. If you want something to not fire off, like to make you fire off, whether it be, it's usually a thought or whatever. If you want something to not make you pop off, to not make your nerves pop off, if you want something to, such as going to dinner at your parents' house, or whatever the situation might be, or the thought might be, it really doesn't matter. If you want something to stop firing you off, if you want the brain to stop misfiring over the thought of this thing or the action or whatever, then you have to not react to the current misfiring, right? Does that make sense? So if you want it to stop misfiring over said thing, which could be anything, then you have to not react to the current misfiring, right? So that the brain can learn. The brain is always learning. It loves to learn, but we've got to help it along. And that's where, a lot of us, myself included, obviously, in the past, kind of fall short. We know the brain is not behaving properly. We know that it's misfiring and that it shouldn't be, but now it's up to us to kind of teach the brain that. And that's where we fall short, because that takes acceptance. That takes not reacting to the current misfiring. That takes showing the brain by not reacting and just living that the misfiring isn't needed. Okay? And this is where the work comes into play. And that's not the fun part. That is not the fun part. Yeah, that doubt will be there. Treat it like any other thought. Treat it like any other thought. Basically, if you want something, if you want your brain to stop misfiring over something, whatever that something might be, stop reacting to the thoughts and feelings and just live your life, right? Do your life. Do your life. Instead of trying to fight with the thoughts and feelings. Instead of trying to fight. I know you don't necessarily feel like that, feel like doing that, but that's the point. That's where the brain's going to learn. All right, beautiful people, we're coming up on that 1 hour mark. I'm going to go ahead and end this one here. I do appreciate all of you guys for watching. Shout out again to Darcy for that very, very generous tip. Thank you so much. And thank all you guys for watching. I really appreciate it. Go do something positive today. Even if you don't feel like it, let's retrain the brain, right? I love you guys, and I'll see you all in the next stream or video. Thank you for almost 10K subscribers. If you're not subscribed, consider subscribing, and I will see you all very soon. Much love, everybody.